excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $437 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004120, 437 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 5,500 due with signing, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 9/30/2024. See dealer for details.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, welcome into another week of The Locker Room. We wish we were here on some festive occasion and then celebratory feelings, but we're not. Nebraska coming off that 56-7 loss to Indiana. Should be an interesting week. Chancellor, I'll let you start it off here with the first segment of the week.
Yes, sir. I'm Chancellor Brewington, former Nebraska football tight end, and you're listening to The Locker Room. Usually with me is Mikey Daniel. He is usually with me, and we usually break some stuff down, but today you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me and Bach. Bach, you had Nebraska losing this weekend, and you got what you wanted.
That's not what I wanted, to be clear.
You got what you wanted. I hope you, Jake Sorensen, who else was a Debbie Downer? Austin. I hope that all y'all feel good about yourselves because you got what you wanted at the end of the day.
I predicted Nebraska not to win this game. I definitely did not predict Nebraska lose 56-7. And again, the reason I predicted them to lose is because of how they've been playing in the last couple of games against Rutgers and Purdue. Seems like they're kind of going backwards. So that's where I saw it coming. But I didn't see it breaking down in that fashion.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm just joking, of course, but it's awesome to see the evolution of things, though. I'll tell you what. I mean, this game, the perspective on this game I think people should have is there has to be something good that comes from it, whether it's, in my personal opinion, I don't think you can skate by. I don't think you can skate by doing the bare minimum. And I don't think Nebraska's doing the bare minimum, but like offensive play calling, I don't think you can skate by doing the bare minimum. Not getting creative, not I would say adjusting to the Big Ten ways and win football games, right? And not use your playmaker. So that's my personal opinion. But we are going to, of course, start off with a quote card. Usually Mikey has the quote cards, but I'm gonna start off today. This one is from one of my favorite books I've ever read. It is The Alchemist. Have you ever read The Alchemist?
I have not
Heard of it? Okay.
heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a phenomenal book. And at some point, we're going to be doing book reviews on here. Hopefully, maybe Tuesdays, maybe Thursdays. We'll see moving forward. But we're definitely going to do some book reviews on here. It says, remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. You got to find the treasure so that everything you have learned along the way can make sense. Everything you got to find where your heart is. And I think that's the question. And if you ever read The Alchemist, it's a great story of a boy who goes on a journey to find, his true meaning in life, his destiny, his what the book calls his personal legend. And I think everyone is on pursuit of this. I've read plenty of books on this subject because I'm actively pursuing mine. So I love to hear examples from authors, from biographies, people who found it, searched for it, and found it, and are living in it. The true meaning, true purpose. Because think about it, you wake up every day, and there's someone out there who needs what you have. Whether me and Bach are on here and we're talking and we're giving a quote to someone, and they need this quote for whatever reason, or you're a architect and you're supposed to build this beautiful glorious mansion or whatever it is, or you're a businessman helping someone, or a financial planner helping someone's portfolio grow. There's something that you're here for in this earth. And maybe you haven't found it yet. Maybe you feel like it's too far away or you're too old. I'll tell you this, it's never too late. It is never too late. It is never too late to find out why you're here, because guess what? All of I'll say it like this, and not to get too wonky on you. All of the universe, all of creation, trees, from the birds to the elephant, from the ant to the elephant, everything in creation is here to help you. The sun, the moon, the stars is here to help you fulfill whatever you are put on this earth to do, whether it's, be a CEO, or to talk sports like us, or to, read books, or to be an author, or to be a poet, or to be a rapper, or a Division I football player at Nebraska. Whatever it is, all creation is here to help you, but you have to search for it and find it for yourself. And once you identify it, then the universe can work with you. But if you haven't identified it, then you're just wasting time. You're just wasting time. And that's all I got for it. And I hope these type of things really, really seep into your brain. And I think of the mind as a garden sometimes. So the mind is a garden, you're actively planting something in there. And so, like, with these little quotes, these little, inspirational, whatever you want to call it, motivational, let it just, reject them if you don't like them. But if you receive them, let them be planted into your mind, and, grow down and grow forth something good, right? Some good fruit from it. But back to this Nebraska game, a lot of thoughts, a lot of different things that, were hit from all angles. There was nothing good that happened in this game. I'm be honest. I think the only good thing I can take from it is Fedoni having a good game. Fedoni goes for 91 yards, 92 yards. We get him going. We get him involved. But nothing really. I mean, Raiola throws 3 picks, and I have a lot to say on that. We don't have a running game. Our best rusher is our backup quarterback, Heinrich Harburg, comes in for 5 rushes, closes the game out. He's our best, most effective runner of the football so far. A lot to say on that. Receivers, second play of the game, Isaiah Nair doesn't run the right route. Second play of the game, by. It's like, I don't understand. Raiola's looking, he pulls RPO read, loaded box on the 2-yard line, looking for an easy 5-yard hitch or 5-yard out right there. You couldn't even tell what was gonna, which route it was gonna be, because he goes and tries to block the safety. But little things like that, that's what good football teams is. And that's what I'm saying. You can't skate by offensively and do the bare minimum. You're doing the bare minimum. And I'm not talking about like Coach Rule and the culture and whatever. No, when we turn on the tape, Bach, guys are supposed to be running a 10-yard out or whatever, and they, with a zone adjustment with cloud, and you run into a cloud coverage, and Dylan Riley throws a pick, right? You false start on a 1st and 10, or blocking it back on 2nd and 5 when when the screen busts open, wide open for 15, we get a first down, it gets called back. We fumble at the whatever yard line on a 4th and 1 after a 4th down stop by the defense. You're skating by offensively, and this defense, like, I'm be honest with you, if you go down, think about it. If you score on that, I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, but if you score when Dante Dowdell fumbled the ball, right? If you go down and scored, now it's a 7-7 ball game. They went down and scored off of that fumble, right? So 7-7 ball game. Now you're talking, you talking now. We talking defense gets a little bit of juice, away game. But then in return, I mean, you gotta find out a way for this offense. And it gets me juiced up. I might gotta stand up on this show, but it gets me juiced up like a Rashawn and Uncle Farley. But no, it gets me juiced up because you got so many weapons. And you got weapons, but I feel as if there's a lack of development going on in the receiver room specifically. And it's frustrating to see, because being a former player, I see certain things. I'm like, man, they didn't drill that. You didn't work on this. Like, come on, guys. Like, you didn't, and sometimes I have to say this. You look across the nation, certain teams can get away with it, right? So you can look at the Bamas, the Tennessees, the Georgias, maybe the LSUs, Notre Dame in some cases. I'm missing one. Ohio State, Oregon. Those teams can get away with a couple mistakes here and there. Why? Because the talent, they got star-studded talent across the board, right? We have talent on this team, but it's not across the board. We got star-studded talent at certain spots. We got a really good tight end. We got a really good quarterback. We got, I would say decent wide receivers. You got a good center, but there's scattered pieces everywhere. So to combat, the lack of talent, you got to play so efficient, so effective, so principle-based. You got to be so good with your technique. And we're seeing it not happen. And I'm starting to believe the notion that the O-line, it's tough, because when I look at Satterfield, Bach, I say, okay, look, I think you're schematically, I think we kind of missed the mark this season. Up to where we played 7 games so far, I think we missed the mark. I think we could have been doing a lot more earlier. And I feel as if now we're going to have to do this radical change of, trying to do this, and this, and add in Heinrich Harburg on 2nd and 3rd down when you probably didn't need to, going into the year. You didn't need to do that. But now you have to, because you can't run the football. And this could have been established, Colorado week, UNI week, Illinois week, and, before we get into Big Ten play, I should say. But now I'm starting to see, I feel as if the O-line ain't blocking well enough to run traditional stuff. And then the flip side of that perspective, which kind of nails Satterfield a little bit, is maybe they aren't being effective because they haven't been given enough opportunities at traditional reps. Traditional reps is the opposite of running reverses, the opposite of running jet sweeps, the opposite of running what's another one? Quarterback, Heinrich Harburg comes in and we run a short option to the field or speed option to the boundary or whatever it is. Like opposite of those stuff, things in between the tackles that guys get fluent with, guys get rhythm with. And so that's what happens when you call plays like that. So now when I look at it, I'm split between two opinions. And I feel as if this Nebraska offense is as well. I want to be super physical. I want to punch you in the mouth, but we have a phenom quarterback. I want to run the football 30 times a game, but, I have to use Dylan Riley's skill set. I want to throw the ball X amount of times, but this state and the city wants me to run the football, right? And so I don't really know. I personally don't know what the fix is, because I wish I had the all 22 film so I could see everything and know like what they're drilling in practice. Okay, they're drilling this in practice. Oh, they want to do this. Why aren't they doing this? Oh, because such and such missed his block on this play, which if we were to call this play, he would definitely miss his block because he's not down on the left side line of scrimmage. That's the key block on this play, yada, 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 right? But I'll tell you what, at some point, I'll say like this, they got to drop at some point, Bach. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. They got to drop at some point. Nebraska can't keep going into this lull. But they got to come out swinging this week in preparation specifically. But coming back on the next segment, talk a little bit more Nebraska, but I want to get into these games throughout the nation and talk a little bit about this coaching staff for Nebraska and how we might have got outcoached.
All right, that's coming up next year in the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back in the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. Lots to break down. It was a busy weekend in college football nationally, but also I know you want to talk a little bit, Chancellor, about Nebraska's coaching against Indiana.
Yeah, so I was just on Adam Carragher show on here from 12 to 1 p.m. Or is it 12 to 1?
Yep.
Yeah, 12 to 1. And then it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, Wednesday is Steve Taylor. But no, I was just talking to him and we were just talking a little bit of X's and O's. And I'm frustrated about this Dylan Riley situation because people are calling for his number in a negative way. And it makes no sense to me, Bach. I want to get your take on this in a second, but it makes no sense to me because how can you? I understand. Okay, Rutgers game, he has a bad game, right? This game, I wouldn't say was a good game as well, right? So now, back-to-back games thrown 5 picks, right? But when you look at it, but did he throw 2 last game or 1?
I think he threw 3 in each of the last 2 games, didn't he?
Last week, how many picks did he throw last week? I don't know what it is. Anyways, when I look at Dylan Riley, I think there's plenty of things that's happening right now. I think for one, the O-line has had some struggles. Teams have realized that they can just, send pressure from, different gaps, do different stunts, do different games with outside backers, send pressure and disrupt Dylan Riley's timing because why? This O-line can't protect very well, right? So I'm seeing that, okay? Second thing I'm seeing, receivers, we're having struggle communicating. They're not on the same page as Dylan. Like I mentioned earlier, second play of the game, run the wrong route. There's just simple things that's not happening in the receiver game, and it's troubling for me because these are things that you coach. These are things that are pretty self-explanatory, especially in the college football world. So that's frustrating. Okay. And the third thing I would say is lack of a run game. Okay. So now you put all those three together. Guess what Dylan Raiola probably feels he has to do? He probably feels he has to be Superman. He has to, make this incredible roll outside the pocket, do a Patrick Mahomes crossbody throw and this, and this, right? And now we're seeing a little bit more turnovers, right? Because it's a little bit out of characteristic play, right? And I think he's expecting receivers to be in certain spots. And, when receivers don't, when you don't have that trust with receivers, a quarterback to receiver, a quarterback tight end, quarterback skill player trust, it gets to a point where the quarterback now is guessing where you're going to be, right? And we saw that with the Fedoni 10-yard out. They play cloud coverage. I wish we had a whiteboard. We had cloud coverage, and all of a sudden now, Fedoni runs into cloud coverage instead of sitting it down right in that zone. Riley is expecting him to sit it down, ends up being a pick, right? So simple stuff like that. The scramble drill. Dylan Riley gets outside the pocket. Why? Because the pocket gets washed because of pressure. He does a good job evading, escaping pressure, and we're supposed to run traditional scramble drill. Scramble drill is simply just when a quarterback gets outside the pocket, receivers have particular spots that they go to based on where they are on the field, right? So the nearest receiver will act like he's going up and then come back to the football. If you're deep, you stay deep. All the other guys are crossing field to get to Dylan Raioula's side. Well, one of the receivers fakes out Dylan Raioula, ends up throwing a pick, right? So it's just like these type of things we're seeing, and it's frustrating because I feel as if these things, and Adam said it best, there's 12 times you call a game, right? Because you got 12 games this year, hopefully 13 in a bowl game. But these things get ironed out spring ball, fall camp, throughout the week. And so when it shows up on Saturday, you put a grain of salt on it. Why? Because maybe, some of the stuff is just, it just happens, right? But when you see things week in, week out, like you're like, wait, hold on. This isn't being addressed. This isn't being coached. And Kurt Cignetti is a fantastic coach. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to put him at the Nick Saban level yet, right? But his philosophy. He talked to the boys with Fox Sports. He talked to Matt Leinart, Mark Ingram, and Urban Meyer, and he was saying that his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator have been with him for 10 and 11 years. He signed their offensive coordinator and D coordinator when they were making $6,000 at Division III, right? And worked their way up. They went to JMU, had them 5 good seasons, and now they're making 6 figures, in the Big Ten play, close to 7, right? I'm sure after this year they might get a raise, especially the offensive coordinator. My goodness. But and then special teams coach, been with them since JMU, strength coach, been with them since JMU. But these coaches have a system in place, right? And it's not only a system and a culture, but it's an offensive scheme, right? It's a scheme. Like, we run this, right? JMU runs this, right? And so when you look at Satterfield, right, you look at, what he did at South Carolina and what he's doing now, it's like, what is happening? Like, it's not the same thing. Like, I'll tell you what, when Frost was here, guess what we did? You knew we were going to run triple option. When you knew we were going to run speed option to the field, to the boundary, you knew you were going to get all these different funky motions, all this stuff. Why? Because he did this at Oregon. It's who he is, right? And so this is why I say it's split between two decisions, because you get to a point where now you got Rule saying this, right? And then we see something else on the field, right? And so it seems as if Rule is trying to influence the offense, right? Which rightfully so. He's been an offense corner some places. He's a defensive mind, but I've seen he's been offense corner. He's been a DC some places too. Well-rounded football mind. So it's nothing against him. But when you're split against two opinions, the offense corner can't be himself. And that might be the struggle for Satterfield right now, is that he can't be himself. I've been on teams like this, Buck. I've been on teams where, and I won't name names. Maybe someone can look between the lines, but I've been on teams where the offense coordinator isn't the offense coordinator. It's the head coach, right? And so sometimes I was like, yeah, that probably needs to happen. I've been on another team where the head coach was not involved with the offense at all. Right? He came in meetings, checked up. Everyone knows their assignments. He'll get filled in on the offensive game plan, but he wasn't like overseeing it, right? Gave freedom to the offensive side, was a little bit more of a defensive coach. Okay. Now that offense that offense I was in went on to score a lot of points, do a lot of things in the conference. Why? Because that offense corner just got to be himself, right? Got to be himself. So when I look at Nebraska now, I don't know how much control Rule has on the offensive play calling. Like, hey, I want this. I want this. Hey, we're going to call this. I think that takes away from an OC when that type of stuff happens. But I honestly don't think that's happening. I really think it's Satterfield and he's getting the freedom to call these things. And if you are, it makes me question it makes me question a lot of things. It makes me question first, like, is this the best product you can put on the field? Is this really the best product? Or is there something, or are you hesitant about something? Okay, you're hesitant about O-line play. Okay, how can we combat that? Okay, you're hesitant about, the receiver separation. Okay, how can we combat that? Right? But one thing I'm seeing, I know I've said it on my YouTube. I just put out a video today. I said it on my YouTube. It's quick game. We had no quick game. No quick passing game where, it helps out the O-line. It helps out Dylan Rowley. It helps out the run game. Helps these receivers get the ball in space. We saw it with Fedoni. He catches a little 5-yard hitch. He takes it 22, 23 yards, make 3 guys miss. Why? You put your skill, you get the ball in your playmaker's hands, right? We used to have an offense where the quarterback would love to throw it out to us on the outside, on the perimeter. Why? Because he knew we were going to make someone miss. We're going to get upfield and we're going to get him yards, right? So he loved to spin it out. And we took pride in blocking out there. We took pride because once another guy, I was a receiver back in the day. So if a receiver got the ball, it was my job to make sure that he gets that he gets yards after catch, that, he flourishes, right? Because it looks good on us as a room. I don't see there's a lot of pride in the receivers in the run game, in the perimeter game, to where you can throw things out there and guys are going to block down field for each other, be aggressive, making guys miss and stuff like that. So that's just my personal opinion about this Indiana game. Bach, do you have any final final thoughts about this Indiana game, how it went?
It's just kind of interesting because I do find myself in the questions were brought up earlier is how much of this was on the coaches versus how much of this, this loss was on the players. And you got to kind of try to do a fine line, but I mean, at the end of the day, 56-7, is on everybody. So it's a tough pill to swallow. It was a big, gigantic loss for Nebraska. And we'll see. But I mean, I guess my concern is that the offense, you said all week going into this game, after this game, you are who you are.
Yes, I did, Bach.
And if that Nebraska offense is what it is right now, it's averaging 17.4 points per game versus Power 5. If you take away the pick sixes they had against Colorado and Purdue. Last year's offense, which had, I would say, less talent, averaged like 15.3. So it just did not take the step up that you would expected it to.
1.7 jump.
Yeah.
My goodness. You add in a superstar talent and you take a 1.7 jump in points. So who does that fall on? And you add more pieces in the receiver room, right? I'm not going to say they're just, you got Jeremiah Smith and, Ryan Holiday out there or whatever his name is. Like, I'm not saying that, but you definitely got some guys that can make plays downfield more than you had last year. And the O-line is playing better than last year, right? Although they have struggles this year, they're playing better. So in all 3 phases, you're playing better. Who's that fall back on?
Gotta be the coaching.
It has to be. And it's kind of like, beating a dead horse at this point, but the truth is the truth is the truth. And we've had a lot of things happen this week in college football. I want to talk about some of them going into this next break. We probably have a few minutes right here, Bach, right?
Yeah, yep.
So Georgia, Texas. Interesting one. I mean, Georgia's defense had Texas we call that a box. Had them in a square box for 4 quarters. Quinn Ewers couldn't get nothing done. They bring in Arch Manning. He comes in, fumbles right away. It was a tough game. It was a tough game for Texas, but Georgia's defense, I mean, that was one of the most aggressive defenses I've seen in a while. I mean, they were coming after Texas, and they put the gas on the pedal from early. One of the most interesting things happened in that Texas game. So they were playing who had the ball? Georgia had the ball. Georgia throws like a little stop route to their receiver on the outside corner. It's like kind of like the corner's playing like catch technique, so they kind of bump into each other. It's both contact on both sides, very legal contact. They call a defensive PI. The corner he didn't end up cribbing it. He took it like 10 yards or something like that. They ended up calling a defensive PI, right? So then all of a sudden the crowd starts booing at Texas. They start throwing bottles on the field, okay? And then all of a sudden the game stops. What's the head coach for Texas? What's his face?
Steve Sarkisian.
Sarkisian. He go on the field to the student section, say stop. He say stop. Right. So they stop throwing bottles. They got cheerleaders picking up the bottles. While all this is happening, the refs are negotiating the defensive PI, and they come to the verdict after the bottles are picked up that is not a defensive PI, and you can't do that. That's not allowed. You can't just because people are throwing bottles. You can't just come to the round table as the refs, right, and just say, hey, we're just gonna review this thing real quick and change our decision. And Kirby Smith is blowing a gasket over there. They end up, I believe. No, they end up scoring on that drive, and then Georgia just comes on and stuffs them. I mean, they couldn't move the football the whole day. Great job by Georgia. The power rankings changed. I wonder what have you been updated on what Georgia is now? I'm pulling it up right now. Oh, Georgia's 2. Georgia is 2. I mean, okay, so you got Oregon at 2. I mean, Oregon 1. That's crazy. Oregon's number. Would you expect that? Oregon being number 1, Bach, going into this year.
Well, that Ohio State, they beat Ohio State, and they did. So
isn't that crazy though? I mean, great job, Big Ten, bringing them to Big Ten. Georgia's 2, Penn State 3, Ohio State 4. Okay, Big Ten. Texas still 5, or Texas 5. They switched with Georgia. And then you got Miami 6, Tennessee 7. They beat Bama. We'll talk about that. LSU 8, Clemson, Iowa State. I don't know. I would have put BYU before Iowa State, in my opinion. Notre Dame. Then you got Indiana at 13. But that's good. And Bama at 15. Bama dropped a lot. Yeah. Boise State still in there. They lost. Oh, no, they already did lose. Ole Miss, Illinois at 20. And Michigan is out of the top 25. And that brings me to my next game, Illinois, Michigan. Interesting ball club. I mean, interesting game right there. I mean, you look at the way Altmaier's playing. He's playing good football, man. I mean, threw a pick against Michigan, but he's playing, or no, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I'm looking at the wrong stat. He played an all right game against Michigan, but they can run the football. I mean, Illinois, I'm happy for Illinois because I don't think Michigan deserves to be in the top 25. They just have too many struggles. It got overshadowed by too many people early in the year after that USC game. I'm glad for it. I had upset alert, Louisville beating Miami. They almost got it done. There was a fumble recovery for a touchdown that got overturned midway through, or about fourth quarter, late third quarter, that got overturned. I was expecting Louisville to capitalize, but Tyler Shuck had a phenomenal game. Throws for 342 yards, 4 touchdowns. Shout out to Tyler Shuck. That's my high school quarterback. So shout out Tyler Shuck. And also play with me in high school is Darius Lassiter, number 5 for BYU, the guy who scored the game-winning touchdown against Oklahoma State, and that keeps them undefeated. Alabama, Tennessee, Nico. I mean, my gosh. I mean, Tennessee has struggled throwing the ball. They've run the ball pretty good. They have a really good defense, but they struggle throwing the ball with these deep shots. Haven't really connected. Nico goes in and has a good game, has a really solid game. Throws 14 for 27, 194 yards, a touchdown and an interception. It was shaky to start off with, but Tennessee ends up getting it done. And Bama now is number 15 in the country. Got some problems going on in Bama. And then Iowa State, it's a close one. UCF, it could have went either way. UCF returns a pick 6. And they dropped the ball at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
I don't understand what is going on. It happens every year. I mean, just carry the ball till the end zone. Iowa State is still undefeated. I'm sure they'll get beat here soon. I would love to see it. Then you got Clemson, Virginia. This was a questionable one, but Clemson gets it done. We'll continue on the next segment, talking about these Big Ten teams. You're listening to The Locker Room.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? At Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Finger, one love. Order online or on our app.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment here today in the locker room after Nebraska's 56-7 loss. We're looking around the country a little bit, lot going on there. What do we got for the final segment here, Chancellor?
Big Ten got shaken up a little bit. Big Ten got shaken up a little bit. You got Indiana and Oregon, the top dogs of the Big Ten. Going into the year, I did not have Indiana, the top dog of the Big Ten Conference, them in Oregon. I mean, I think if you predicted that, I think you need to go play a blackjack table in Vegas right now or tomorrow.
That does beg the question after watching that game, how good is Indiana?
Listen, if there's a team that can beat Ohio State, can match Ohio State's offense, it's Indiana's. I look across the Big Ten. You know, Oregon has a really good. I think the question mark is Indiana's defense. I think Nebraska, not a good, I would say, sample size to judge Indiana's defense. Nebraska right now, offensively, would struggle if we go and play Colorado's defense. I mean, we're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle playing. Who we have? UCLA. We're gonna struggle offensively against UCLA if we don't figure this out, right? So I don't think you can judge it based off Nebraska, but if you judge it, throughout the conference, I mean, Northwestern put some points on them, right? And it's crazy. Northwestern played Indiana better than Nebraska. I would never have thought that, but it happens. That's Big Ten football for you. You got Penn State, still 3-0 in the conference. They got some big games coming up. This Penn State team is number 3 in the nation. They got Wisconsin. They got Ohio State. They got Washington. They end the year with Purdue, Minnesota, and Maryland. Could possibly drop a game to Ohio State. That could change the conference. Ohio State could get it done against them, get it done against Nebraska, and get it done against Indiana. They got a big 3-game gauntlet coming up. Honestly, I don't know how much of a gauntlet Nebraska is right now. But I do believe that Indiana could possibly be, a top, a sleeper, but depending on what Iowa State and BYU does. Because, if Indiana stays perfect or, loses to Ohio State, getting into the Big Ten getting into the college football playoffs might be a struggle. It might be kind of hard, but eventually it's going to declare, right? And then this Wisconsin Badgers team is still in the race. They're kind of the opposite of USC, right? So USC has played, these top dogs, right? And all of a sudden, Wisconsin has kind of skated by, hasn't really played too hard of opponents. And now, they're tied for quote unquote third place right now. You got Penn State sitting at second, and you got Indiana and Oregon fighting for that number one spot. Looking at the Big Ten, looking at top 25 right now. You had Missouri gets it done against Auburn, a tight one. This SEC this whole year. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. We talked about Tennessee beating Bama. Talked about Texas losing to Georgia. Missouri almost loses to Auburn. SMU gets it done against Stanford, 40-point blowout. Shout out to SMU moving into the Power 5, and they're getting things done. Army stays undefeated, and Navy stays undefeated. When is the last time we've had Army and Navy in the top 25? Can you remember a time, Bach, where
I can't remember one? No.
I mean, I don't think this has ever happened, and not even top 25. They're 23 and 24. They're sitting pretty healthy with undefeated records right now. Right behind SMU and Missouri and Illinois. It's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be a fun year. This final 5-game stretch is gonna tell me everything we need to know about the way college football is moving, the merging of conferences. I think this year will be a lot more chaotic and sporadic, and a lot less feel on who's going to win games coming up, just because there's a lot of moving parts. NIL plays more of a deal than people realize. I mean, it fluctuates the player-coach relationship. It changes the player-player relationship. It changes the player-football relationship. It changes so many things. It changes the landscape of recruiting. It changes, how players feel about staying in programs. Guys want to leave early, this, and this. It changes the whole landscape. So now when you go through and you see, week 9, let's just look at week 9 real quick. You got, let's just do Oklahoma. No, Oklahoma got whooped. That was a crazy one. We didn't talk about that one. That one was, I did not expect South Carolina to come out and put a 28-0 first quarter on them. It's tough.
They fired their offensive coordinator too.
Really?
Yeah. That's Luttrell.
There you go. You got some big ones this week, but even you got a UCF BYU game, right? This could easily be a UCF win right here. You don't know anymore. This Vanderbilt Texas game. Vanderbilt could mess around and beat this Texas team. You got Wisconsin, Penn State. Wisconsin could easily go in there and beat Penn State. You don't know what's going to happen this year in college football, and it makes it so much fun. I know Mikey loves to talk about the NFL. I love to talk about college football and how much fun this is this year, being able to talk about it on the locker room. But it's been a good one. It's been a good one. It's been interesting though to see how everything is moving in the right direction. Nebraska has some things to figure out this week, Bach. And if you don't figure out this week, please get a win against UCLA so we can just go bowling.
Yeah, we're back to hoping for a bowl. Not the position you'd want to be in, but it is where we is. By the way, Army Navy 1960, the last time both those teams were ranked in the top 25.
There you go, the 60s, good old 60s.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the locker room today. Plenty more throughout the week, so tune in. But on the block coming up next year at 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
For all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, Formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then.